Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fly Nubian Money. Listen, before we even get started on this beautiful, beautiful day, I need to let you know that what we are talking about today could be triggering to some people. So, if you have, or anyone in your family has dealt with SA, please protect yourself and your mental first as we move forward with this conversation, because we are going to be digging deep into this as well. Listen, false accusations can destroy lives. A woman by the name of Tierra Christy recently accused her boyfriend of sending inappropriate messages to her daughter, only for it to be revealed that she was lying. While many people are quick to believe accusations involving children, what happens when the truth comes out and the damage is already done? Should there be legal consequences for women who make false allegations? How can men protect themselves from being falsely accused? And how do false claims like these impact real victims who actually need help? So, this conversation is one that we must have. So, I have a very royal panel today. We have Tierra Williams, producer and actress. We have Moya, our tax professional, and we have Marlo Layson, our TV and film producer. Happy Monday, my queens. This story is circulating a lot on the internet. I first saw it on Facebook with the accusations and actually the original post. Before we dive into that, I would like to know if you saw this post before the revelations came out about this being a lie. So just a quick answer before we get into the video. Tiara, had you heard about this?
Yes.
How about you, Marlo?
I hadn't.
How about you, Moya? Sometimes I wonder how I end up with some of the things on my timeline, because I always want puppies and happy things and babies, but I don't quite get that all the time. So let's just start with this. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm going to be very, very honest. I'm struggling with this today because I am a sexual abuse survivor, and no one believed me when I was a child. And so I have both sides of this. For one, you always should believe the ones who come out and say you should. And I have that thing, but I also have a total disdain for people who come out and falsely accuse people, because that's not fair. That's something that will follow them for the rest of their lives. So I'm struggling. So if I get a little bit of mouth, just forgive me. I love you. Let's go ahead and get into the videos. Let's start with part one.
Oh, the lawsuits are going to be shaking, especially the one that Jaleel Allen is able to serve his ex-girlfriend Lacey with. Now, Lacey came out with text messages allegedly saying that her daughter was assaulted by her boyfriend. Now, when people were reading the text messages, it wasn't adding up. But of course, we're supposed to believe the victims first. There's a lot to the story. Let's talk about it. The internet detectives on this situation have social media in an uproar because people are like, her mom made all this up. She's a sick lady. But at first people were rallying for her. Now, in the text messages, basically he inquired to the 10-year-old girl that he would like to give her fellatio, and she declined. But even the way she declined, the way that the texts were, it seemed as though it would be contrived with more adult, it would have more adult speech. Like, it didn't seem like a little girl was texting that. I'm going to be honest. But like I said, I'm always going to be in a situation where I believe the victim first. Now, what made this situation open up for me that maybe the mom wasn't telling the truth was the mother's response when he posted his text messages, when she was saying stuff like, I told you not to call the police. Now this is going to be a bigger situation. I just wanted you to leave. I just wanted you to leave the house. No questions asked. I just wanted you to get out. He's like, you got people online calling me a pedo. That's not me. I'm going to stick up for myself, and I'm going to call the police.
That's hard to watch. I did look at the interactions of this. and it physically made me ill. But we do have a graphic that pulls up some of the things I want to address that too as well before we get into the conversation. So let's pull up that slide where we can see some of the back and forth. Now, this was the original post from the mom. She says she was with this dude for 5 years and he had been around her daughter since she was 5 years old. I can't believe that he would all of a sudden take a sexual interest in my daughter. It disgusts me that she came to me crying about how he doesn't talk to her like she's a kid anymore. He's been trying to get to her to be an adult and do sexual things with her because she is older now. So she's about 10. This type of betrayal from him, I will never understand or forgive. And the disgusting ass family that stands by him and calls my child a liar can all go to hell with him. Y'all can get your hands and feet about my daughter. At the end of the day, he violated a little girl who literally just turned 10 last month in February. She trusted him and loved him. I will never understand how anybody can be a mother and not believe that their child. I believe my baby no matter what, how nobody feel. You really can't trust nobody around your kids, and it's sad and scary. Like, who talks to a child they claim to love like this? And I'm disgusted. And we're going to pull that back now. All right. So this is what she posted. This is what now has caused all the things. Now, you know, I'm quick to believe. And I'm going to ask you all this question. So why are people so quick to believe accusations without actual proof? But this is kind of a trick question because she provided proof with text, right? She provided her proof. But if we didn't have that, why do you think people believe these accusations before knowing the whole story? I'm going to start with you, Marlo.
I think because a lot of people have suffered in silence. I think a lot of people, these are known secrets in a lot of families, particularly Black families. And so I think that when we see somebody come forward and it isn't years later and they do it in the moment, we want to support them because you understand how difficult it is, right? Without going too deep into somebody else's business, I had to experience this with my own daughter, right? With somebody that we trusted, a family friend. He was like a son to us. He was always in our home. And so I think that you want to, but immediately when she told me, I knew the exact moment because there was something that triggered during a family holiday, right? And so I immediately felt away, but I think it really is because so long people have suffered with this information. There are so many. That's the uncle's baby, that's the brother's baby, that's the daddy, the granddaddy's baby, right? Like there are so many instances that all of us can point to, where people have held these types of secrets in. So we look at this as bravery, but I will save the rest of my commentary as we dig on into this.
I think we're probably going to end up going pretty deep with this. Tiara, why do you feel that we accept these accusations before we truly know if they're true or false?
I think just the nature. If you read Tierra Christy's message, she is passionate, baby. I don't know. That's passion, and it gives like I'm telling the truth. This is disgusting. I mean, it's giving all of the things. But then you go back and then when you go back and realize that it's a lie, it's like, oh, there's a mental health issue. This bitch is crazy. Like, that's crazy. But there are women that exist like this, right? So we can't, just like, I mean, Lala, I stand with you as a victim also. And I can see both perspectives too, because obviously I have a friend who is also a person on this show who has been wrongly accused. So like watching him go through that entire process from the beginning, I didn't know that he was facing 60 years. I was like, well, God damn. Like, I didn't know all of that was transpiring. But when he was acquitted, it was just like, wow, you almost really lost your life because somebody got mad at you. Now, there are some rumors online that says that this young man cheated, or Jaleel possibly cheated on her. And so, I would say we just have to watch, we got to watch playing with people's emotions. You know what I mean? Like playing with people, because we don't know what they will do when it comes out, like how far they'll go to destroy you.
Mhm.
That part, that part. Because, like you said, she came out with so much passion, so much conviction. I was all on board. You want to talk about somebody who's ready to bring pitchforks to somebody's door? And that makes me question myself too, because you know what? I was just as guilty as accusing this man as she was just as passionate about getting that out. How about you, Moya? Why do you think that we tend to accept these accusations before we truly know?
Yeah, I think it's with everything that everybody has said. Like we, on some level, have experienced it. We know somebody that's experienced it, and so at this day and age, we just want to stand up. We just want to say something, and so it's really unfortunate. I'm so glad Tiara input the whole idea of how far someone will go. Like that's and playing with people's emotions. It's so true.
Very, very true. So, listen, Sybil says this can destroy a man's life as well as the kid. They are usually forced to lie. We are going to get right back into this conversation because this is a big ball of mess that affects everyone. So, let's take this short break, take a deep breath. I'm going to have a cup of tea, and we'll be right back.
It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tierra Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
Listen, we've got all the resources for you. I say it every day because it makes me proud that we have all the resources for you. Listen, if you don't know where to start, you don't know how you're going to get to the finish line, all you need to go to our website at flynubianmoney.com, download all the resources that we have for you, because guess what? We can get you at least to the starting line so you can see the goal. I want to dig back into this because I want to ask a question that kind of bounces off of what the last comment was. And it is that this not only harms this man, but it also harms the child, because a lot of times they are forced to lie. Marlo, I'd like to know your thoughts on that and how you think this is going to be affecting this child involved.
Covering sexual assault is my least favorite thing in news. That is my least favorite story to come across my desk. But what I know is that most communities now have places that they partner with, therapeutic centers that they partner with, that do what they call forensic interviews. And those interviews are intended to cut through the mess, right? Because people understand, law enforcement understand, prosecutors, they all understand that sometimes people have an axe to grind, and that axe will come in the form of a false accusation. So I will say that most communities have places that will do an interview. They have special therapists who can get to the root of the problem, who create a safe space so that the child could even say, you know what, my mama told me to say this, right? And we have seen things here where I live where you have a sexual assault allegation and then it gets dropped. And why does it get dropped? Because in that forensic interview, things came out that alerted the interviewer that this was not true. I wish that there were charges to be filed against the person. I think that state legislatures need to work on that. If you are found to make a false allegation, the way that we were when the people were trolling us in the parks for the barbecue and the water sales and the bird watching, we should feel the same way about false sexual assault allegations, right? Because it could truly ruin a person's life, right? You get a false accusation of sexual assault, you now are on the sexual offenders list. Now you have children who you can't engage with. If your job is related to you being involved with children, you have lost your livelihood if you go through the process and are convicted, right? So I think that we definitely as a society need to agree. Sexual assault, terrible. If you do it, you're found guilty, go to jail. But also, if you're found to be a person that is lying, looking to destroy somebody's life that don't want to love you no more, you too should go to jail, because there's a lesson in that for you as well.
I totally agree with that, and I'm going to bounce that off of you, Tiara. Do you think that women who make these false allegations should serve jail time?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if not the same amount of jail time that he would have spent in jail for her, like, right? I think it would teach. It's almost like in the olden days, right? When you lied or stole and they cut off your legs or your foot or your, I think it should be an extreme, right? If I think there should be an extreme, right? To discourage people from doing this type of thing. This is not okay. Like the woman that lied on Emmett Till. I know she was a cancer patient dying on her deathbed at 90. Listen, when she admitted it, I'd have put her ass right on, put some handcuffs on her and let her right in the jail and she
Straight to
died in
the
there.
jail.
You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I just don't think that's okay. It's not, for whatever reason, we really miss the mark on that. We really do when it comes to, because the women, in a lot of situations, y'all, especially crimes against men, women be like, I was just playing. Okay, I'm about to go live my life now. And that's it. That's all they get. They don't get a slap on the wrist. They don't get anything. And so I'm a person that I I don't believe all women. Sorry, I don't. And that's coming from somebody that was assaulted. I don't believe all women. I think that we should do a better job and just making sure, like this young lady was saying in the video, when she said that the back and forth, it was too much like an adult. I mean, I really think we should look at all the things, but it is preposterous to believe that somebody would go this far to lie on someone else. I think that's all of us, like us normal folk with clear heads, like, okay, that makes sense. A plus B equals C. But then you go back and be like, wait a minute, what? You would do that? So I don't know, y'all. Lock her up. Throw away the key. Lock all them girls up. Lock them up. Throw them away. Throw the key away.
I
Don't
can't say
lie.
that I disagree with you on that. I actually have a family member that was accused and went as far as having to go to prison to serve time. And he was innocent the whole time. The girl later came out after he served his time and told the truth. Now, one, he was labeled as a sexual predator, and now he had to register as a sexual predator everywhere he moved. Two, you have to face that shit in prison because people don't take too kindly to that. They'll take a murderer over they will someone messing with a child or rape. Those are, yes, believe it or not, there are hierarchies in prison. Okay. So for years, he had to carry that with him, and he still does. And to this day, he cannot get his name cleared, even though she admitted it. He's still fighting that, and he's been out for a long time, but he's still dealing with this mentally, physically, and just being able to live. So Moya,
And
do you
I
think that?
also, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry, and maybe we could throw this to Moya. And can we also include that financially? I do know someone that was able to get their name cleared, but literally it took him $1 million to get his name cleared. So maybe it could even be he sat in jail for 15 years while his family was on the outside, like, and then the girl finally was like, I was just playing. He didn't rape me for real, and then he got out, but it was like they went back and there was a loophole with the forensics. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh my God, I have two friends that this happened to. Actually, the one is more like a family member to me. But his aunt just kept like hiring private investigators and just all kinds of things. Think about the people that don't have the money to do all that. They just gonna
And
sit and
that's
watch.
it.
I'm sorry,
That's
Moya.
it.
Go.
No, but that leads into the question that I was and am asking you, Moya. Should men accused of crimes like this get the chance to clear their name publicly? And I'm gonna even add this part: should they be able to get financial repercussions or for lying, for the lying of the girl? Should they be compensated for that?
So this is my viewpoint, because I know that it is really, really hard as it is for women to come forward. So I don't want to add another level of complexity to say, and if he's proven innocent, now you're going to jail. Like, I don't want that. I want it to be something where we definitely, if it's found out that it was not true, there is some repercussion in the sense of if it's financial, but I don't know if it's automatically. Now, if we say it's a crime, that's a different thing. Like the lady that came out in this case, yes, because now he has to go on the offense or defense rather and defend his name for sure. Yes. But I just don't want an added level of pressure. Now, if we look at it as a hate crime, like another form of a hate crime in terms of it, a hate crime is dependent upon where you come from. Like, did you intentionally make it malicious for you to cause hate against someone else? So if that's the case, then I understand. But I just don't want to add another layer for women to think about when they are coming forward with their story that's already very, very sensitive.
It's such a catch-22. It's so sensitive because this can be weaponized so easily. And with, like you said, Tiara, she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just playing. He didn't do it. And same situation in my family. Oh, nope, he didn't really do it. But he's already served time and now struggling and didn't have the money, like you were saying, Tiara, to fight to get his name cleared, right? So I want us to check this second part of the video out before we go take a breath, because I have to be very honest. When we watch these videos, I have to sit back and go, and then we're going to take a little break. But let's check out part 2 of the video.
So for those who are not catching the story, and it seems all over the place, let me make it clear again. This guy, Jalil, was allegedly texting his girlfriend's daughter, right? When the mom found out, she decided not to call the police. She just told him to get his stuff and get out. He leaked their text messages. And in their text messages, she said, I've already got a case out on me. I'm not trying to have the police over here. You just need to get your stuff and leave. Well, allegedly, not only did he call the police because he wanted his name cleared, he called his sister and his mom. The sister and the mom got to going in on the girl. And she's like, well, now I'm about to start a war. The girlfriend was. She's like, now I'm about to start a war because now you got your mom and them hitting me up saying crazy stuff. I told you not to call the police. I told you just to leave. And now you're making it a thing. So I'm about to make it an even bigger thing. He's saying, somebody had to have my phone. Ain't no way I'm talking to a little kid like that. She's like, who the F was it then? Because we on Mir, another kid named Jameer's A. It was only 2 dudes in the house. She's like, there's only 2 of y'all in the house. Who else be in the house? He was like, everybody in this house know my passcode. I never did it. So it's a he said, she said thing. People are coming out and they're not on his side. They said Jalil Allen, what is his name? Jalil Allen is lying. If anybody caught this, but there's some messages missing from these screenshots, he deleted from his phone and forgot to delete it from the tablet because they're comparing his number to the little girl's phone. You know what I mean? And some of the things that was said. So people are saying it ain't adding up on his end with the deleted messages. They're saying it's not adding up on the mother's end. Why would she not directly want to call the police? You see what it says here on the message that was deleted? I'm going to give you my phone so you can text me and talk to me so I can ask some more questions. Just be honest. It's between me and you. And it won't get you in trouble by your mom, okay? So you see right there, she's saying, okay, can I get Roblox? And we go back to the little girl stuff. That message is deleted. Open the door for Mir. Oh, you good? Oh, I'm fine. Can I get Roblox? You know what I mean? So it's weird. It's looking weird. If this is true, there's going to be an investigation. The internet is all over this. He's feeling like I want my name cleared. I'm not a schmeedo. And, I don't know. We're going to see what happens if this ever does go to court.
With that being said, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
I know. You're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government. But guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Listen, you know, you don't want to miss a show at all. But hey, guess what? Even if you found us later on in the months, because we're getting ready to head into our first year, you can go and check us out on Spotify. All you have to do is go there, Fly Nubian Money, put it in, will pop up. You can listen to all of our episodes and take us on the road. Maybe you want to take that jog I do every day, and I love to listen to podcasts. And all you have to do is pull us up and get caught up with everything that we've done. So give us a 5-star rating, take us on the road. Okay, we are back into this. So all this is played out on social media. All this is played out on social media. That says quite a lot. So I'm going to ask you, Marlo, what role does social media play in making false accusations go viral?
Deborah just had the quote of the day. Like, it is used, the court of public opinion has now become judge, jury, and then sometimes executioner, right? We love to believe one side of the story. We don't need to believe the other side of the story. Some people even feel like whoever comes with the story first must be the person that's telling the truth, right? There's all of these little ways that we convince ourselves of how our involvement in things that have nothing to do with us give the things more validity, right? And there is no validity to add. And what social media is doing is really making it hard to bring people to trial. Social media is really making it hard to find an impartial jury of your peers, right? So when we think about the things that are guaranteed in the Constitution, right, that relate directly to criminal justice, social media is making it hard. It's funny now, I don't know how many of y'all have sat on a jury, but when a judge gives jury instructions, they tell you, you are not to get on the internet. You are not to search for this. You are not to look for any kind of supplemental information. All you need is this information that's coming in through the trial, right? And what people don't understand is all of that stuff hurts a prosecution. The more information that is in the public eye makes it harder to prosecute, because that information gets tainted. It gets tainted with lies. It gets tainted with misinformation. It gets tainted with the skew of a catchy headline. And so I want people to think about, when we talk about having safe communities, right? When we talk about believing women, when we talk about just safety in general for ourselves and our neighbors, you are doing yourself a disservice by running to the internet with this information. You are doing yourself a disservice by, as a community, gathering, it's almost like a public lynching, right? It's almost like we all come to watch this thing happen. And meanwhile, she telling him, oh, I already got a case. I don't need the police at my house. You don't need the police at your house, and a man is trying to do sex with your child? Like, we have got this. The world is so unserious. I want to unplug so bad, but I do digital business, so I can't. And it's really, really terrible, because I have to live in this internet world, and it behind the curtain, y'all, the things that I get to see behind the media curtain, the things that I get to talk to with U.S. attorneys and prosecutors on the back end, off the record, the involvement of the community in these issues as people try to litigate and people try to get friends and get viral coins and get a little bit of their 15 minutes of fame is really effing up the game, y'all. It really, really is.
It is. And I bring that up because we are going to look at the text that were being looked at and how she's saying this was. So before we do that, guys, I want you to take a deep breath, because if this is going to trigger you, please go take a very big breath so that you can take care of yourself. So these are the actual alleged inappropriate messages that the mother did put out. It says, did you ever get head before? They're talking about fellatio. And then the daughter is supposed to be Y. The daughter's in the blue. Just asking, no, I don't like boys. Uh, Getting blank is something girls and boys do. It's just when a tongue is going blah, blah, blah. Can't finish reading that. Sorry. And she goes, oh. And then he goes on to proceed to say, I'm not trying to get you to like boys. I'm just trying to give you some blank so you know what it feels like. Now I'm going to end it right there because that is actually pretty extremely graphic. And he proceeds to go down with that questions. Now, here is what also it comes in at play. There are many people saying the way that the texts were answered, the ones in the blue, was outside of the scope of how a 10-year-old would react. And that it definitely says that it sounded like it was more of an adult that was answering. Tiara, do you kind of get that vibe about this interaction that was shared online?
I don't know. I didn't, when I first read it, I didn't think that. I wasn't Inspector Gadget about it. I wasn't like, oh, that sounds like an adult. But but what I it's oh my God, it's terrible to read. But I do wonder. Here's my question, and this is just what I was. This is 5 years. You've been with a man for 5 years, and he's never said anything. That This is the part that for me, it's like I've been a stepdaddy to your children for 5 years. I've been in your house for 5 years, and all of a sudden, one day, I just say, "Hey, you never got head before?" To somebody that's like a stepdad, that stepdaughter to me. That's what seems a little unrealistic to me. I don't know. I mean, on the timeline, like we've been together for 5 years. I've been in your house. And then just one day I just sent a text message. That feels a little weird. I don't know if the text exchange got me and I was like, oh, that sounds like an adult. I mean, I guess reading it now, somebody said it. I'm like, it feels maybe calculated. Maybe I don't like boys. I'm not saying you like boys, but like it could be calculated. I don't know. Cause I have a 10-year-old. I had a 10-year-old, and at 10 probably sound about 15. So you know what I mean? Like, you know. Um but that's what I'll say about that. That's where my mind was just like 5 years later, and he was just randomly like, oh, I want this little girl. Like that seems weird.
It seemed that way as well. And what bothered me is like, what 10-year-old would say, ask mommy to do it? Go ask mommy to do it. That was another part of the text that the responses were supposed to be, don't ask me to do it, go ask mommy. That right there was like, something just didn't sit right with me on that. That's pretty traumatizing for a child in the first place to even be talking about sex. But now a kid who says, mommy and daddy do that to make me, he's at the age now where they're like, I don't even want to think about my mommy doing that. Right. So, Moya, we saw these posts. They looked pretty damning. This man is now, we know that it was lies. So how can the legal system better protect men from false accusations?
That's a very good question. I mean, I think if I was, well, one, when we were talking about the hate crimes in terms of making it so we can look at the intentions and go from there. I think if I was a man going into Tiara's point, because if I'm a man going into a household and I'm going under the pretense of I love her and she loves me, but at any point in time, she can flip if she's unhappy with me. That would be very, very unsettling for me if I'm a man. And mind you, I'm the parent I'm not looking for the man to do anything, but I'm definitely watching, like, how are you picking her up? How are you, like, I'm very aware of those things as well. I think it's important for a man to always start by protecting himself. And that's, in this case, if we have screenshots, if we have a certain distance, if we have, don't say certain comments, like if I was a man, I would be very, very cautious of what I say, how I act, where I am in proximity to her, just because I just never would want to, be in that type of situation. And that's what I would teach my boys as well.
That's so scary, though. When you think about it, it's like you come into a house assuming that you are going to be possibly a husband or a stepdad. So you want that closeness, but then you have to keep a wall up Just, you know what I mean? Like it just almost feels, how are you able to really like connect if it's always like you got to be like, wait, man, listen, because you don't think that when you're in a relationship with somebody, you don't think none of that. Like, oh, she's gonna turn against me. But when I think about it, y'all, I don't know. I've dated men who've been like listening to them, it's like I could be very vindictive. If somebody say something to me, I will, like, I've heard a man say that and been like, oh, this is a red flag. This is crazy. Like, so I think in addition to that, you just have to start listening to who you date. Because people will tell you who they are. They will. Like, I didn't ask that young man for his, and he was like, man, listen, I've d- you know hit a girl's tire, or would cut a girl's tire, and then went back and set her car on fire. I was like, he was like, yeah, I mean, she got on my nerve, or whatever the thing was. I was just like, it's going on. I'm leaving. But the small things, the small things.
It's
Listen
the
for the
small
small
things.
things.
Yeah, they'll give away some things if you just open your ears to the right thing. I really hate I'm just going to be really honest about this. I really hate that we have to live in such a world where we feel like we have to be on guard 24/7. It's like, you're told to be on your P's and Q's. Women can't walk down the street. You got to watch your surroundings. And you feel like, where is any kind of the joy? You have to choose and find your joy. But then you go and you do that. And then somebody goes, girl, did you not know you was in like the wrong area at the wrong time? It is a challenge in these times to feel safe or keep your children safe at all costs, because you never know what you're looking for. And I will tell you that there is a difference in different countries. Portugal is very, very protective of their children. You better not have a phone out, even videotaping like the ocean and kids walking by. Them women to be like, put the phone down, put the phone down. You want the babies still? Like, they will tell you, put your phone down. There are children around here. And there's a rule in Portugal, like, you don't record anything without asking someone's permission. They will tell you that in a heartbeat. I want to look at a couple of stats before we move on. So these are kind of shocking, and some of these numbers are interesting to me. Black men are disproportionately affected by false accusations and wrongful convictions. And we do bring up Emmett Till. This is not something new. This has been done for centuries. Emmett Till, to Purvis Payne, Black men in America are still killed for crimes they didn't commit. Now, as we stated, the woman who accused Emmett of this died at 90 years old. And she didn't die in prison, y'all. She died of natural causes. So she never came to get prosecuted for her lie. And it's simple as that. Now, this number shocks me. Only 2 to 10% of sexual assault accusations are proven false, but the impact on the falsely accused is life changing. Life changing. How does someone pick up and move on after this? But this also brings me to another point. Like, we've always used newspapers. When we say media now, guys, we always think internet, right? But many, many years we were just listening to radio and newspapers. So Marlo, should the media be held accountable in any kind of way for spreading unproven allegations?
The media is held accountable. If I go and I write something and my T's ain't buttoned, my I's ain't crossed, I will most certainly get a threatening letter from somebody's attorney, a cease and desist, a we are suing, right? So the media, the mainstream media that everybody hates, right, it definitely has an accountability factor. I don't know if I shared this here, but Diddy is actually suing our parent company because they allowed accusers to come on and say inflammatory things without showing proof. One of the things that I do, if somebody tells me, oh, I filed a police report, okay, let me see the police report. Not only do I view the police report, I go and contact that police office, right? Hey, I'm checking on this report number such and such, so that I can have all of my shit buttoned up, because I don't need no lawsuits, right? Not being overzealous to tell a story that doesn't have an outcome yet. what we've done is we've said, oh, you accused? You must have did it because I don't like how you look. That one time you had a booger in your nose. You don't get your hair cut enough. Look at your shoes. Like all of these arbitrary things that have nothing to do with litigation or legality. And we jump on that as fact. Now, who doesn't have an obligation is who we are referencing here, Tasha K, right? She broke this news. She doesn't have an obligation. She was sued by Cardi B. Cardi B still hasn't gotten her coins and was found that she defamed Cardi B. She said things that were not true, unfounded, could not prove them in a court of law. So I think that what the internet has done, right? Because people look at me or our news organization or news organizations in general, and they say, oh, you know, we have a local blogger here who all he has to do is say, oops, y'all, I'm sorry. I didn't have all the facts before I went with the story. I can't do that as a journalist. I ain't no oops, my bad. Oops, my bad looks like our legal team is involved. It looks like people looking at me because ain't nobody getting raises. Because if this thing ends up with a settlement, then our station got to pay for that, right? So I think that people don't understand news. Good journalists typically move towards a story slow because you do have to have your facts buttoned up. Now, if you feel like, oh, where there's smoke, there's fire, and you go ahead and roll with it, then you gonna deal with whatever the repercussions, whether that's Diddy suing you for $50 million for things that we know he did, but you cannot be inflammatory. You can't just say whatever you want. You can't just let Jaguar Wright come on your program and say whatever she wants to say without evidence. And that's the part that people are missing. People feel like because somebody get on a TV and pop their shit and they say whatever they want to say, oh, you must be telling the truth. Niggas lie every day, every single day. So why does this have a kernel of truth? It has a kernel of truth because it's salacious, right? It has a kernel of truth to you because maybe you don't even like the person that this lie is about. Maybe you never liked them. Maybe they owe you $15 in 1997 and you never forgot.
Marlo, we got to go to commercial, baby.
Go on to commercial. Y'all better stop playing on this internet. People start suing y'all. Y'all gonna shut up.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
They ain't probably already looking for you. They're looking for you. For you. Listen, all you got to do is send us that email to our magical email. Just send in your information, your name, your telephone number, your website, a little bit of bio about you and the name of your company to info@realvirtual.net. Listen, it's building and this is going to be a continuing thing. So send it in so that people can find you and we can refer you out. And those who are looking, you do the same thing. You email us and let us know you're interested in looking for someone in the directory and we will get that out to you. Listen, we got one video to look at and I don't want to miss on this one. So let's check this one out and we'll be right.
Yo, I be trying to tell y'all fellas, I be trying to tell y'all, man, it be these hoes, man, it be these devil back bitches over here, man. It be them, they look good, they look good. This is some nice chocolate souffle, nice and soft, you know what I'm saying? Just like this right here, this is a bad chocolate bitch right here. But at the end of the day, the better they look, the more vindictive, the more vicious, the more evil, the more manipulative they are. Look at what this woman did. She got caught sexting her 10-year-old daughter to try and pin it on her ex-boyfriend, to kill his character, to make that young man look like a piece of shit, to ruin his life, to go to jail. And now she deleted all social media, she deleted like all the posts that she put out, all the screenshots she put out, with him allegedly sexting her. Yo, what kind of woman does that? Not to mention that she probably just destroyed a relationship between, a man and his stepdaughter. But now you're gonna have CPS, ACS, Child Protective Services all on your case now if they aren't already on you. What a dumb, you gotta watch out who you wife up. You gotta watch out who you're in a relationship with. I don't care how good they look. Just like Tierra Christy, they might look good. I ain't gonna lie, I wanna bite on her ass too. She look good. But they are the definition of devil, bat, do nothing, disgusting, manipulative bitches. Stay away, man. This girl gonna get her kids taken away and her reputation shot now. All of y'all fellas and all y'all women in the comments that was shitting on this man, yo, fuck y'all and y'all deserve the worst. Because y'all stay taking a woman's side without knowing exactly what's going on, without knowing the details, without knowing the facts. Y'all jump to these people's fucking rescue and y'all don't even know what's going on. That's why I be shutting the fuck up before I even know anything, man. I hope that young man's doing good, and I hope this bitch really hasn't destroyed his image, his reputation, and his future, man. Yo, watch how you living out there, people.
He wasn't playing, and I can't say that he was lying. So this kind of taps right into what Floyd says. Yet another reason why men prefer childless women. Those men get attacked even by a certain host not on today's panel. But this is one of many reasons why men tell other men, do not date babies, mamas. Moya, I want to know what your thought is on that comment in that video.
I know. I could definitely see it. I could definitely see it in terms of a man being like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with this. This is too much of a headache. But my only thing to say to that is, I feel like you would know. You would know in terms of the type of conversation she has. As Tiara said, in terms of the gentleman, in terms of him saying, these are the red flags, these are the things that I did to her. I feel like a man has the same ability to see, okay, does she seem toxic? Does she seem like she likes chaos? Is she just picking fights with me because she feels like she feels like it? Like that's what gets her all riled up. I think a man would know that. The only question that you'd have to ask the man is if he's okay with that, because that leaves him open for these types of situations. And so I think that's the only thing. The other thing is, and I want Marlo to say, because I think she was insinuating it with, the things about the media, is you can go to jail for slander and libel. That's what Tasha K was fined with, right? So doesn't he have those same privilege to back it up?
I was listening to him, and what she did is actually a crime, right? You cannot send sexually explicit messages to a child. Even if it's your child, even if you want the Negro to move out your house, you cannot. It is illegal. It is called illegal, like digital communication with a child or something like that. But she, as this grows, she didn't want police involved for whatever reason. But police are gonna get involved because sexting to children is illegal at every state level because it's a federal crime, right? So whatever is a federal crime at the state level, the states are going to acknowledge that. So she is definitely going to get some law enforcement. If they haven't contacted her already, she'll be contacted by law enforcement for sending these messages. And so she'll probably have not the false accusation, but she'll definitely, because she didn't file a police report. So she doesn't have to file a false police report claim because she didn't want to do that, right? Because she already got a case. But the texting or the sexting to the juvenile child, she definitely gonna hear from the police on that note.
Which is very interesting because, and I'm going to throw this question to you, Tiara. Now, police will be called about this. I mean, this is serious accusations. And of course, what triggered me is like, I don't want to call police. I just want you out of my house. But when the police get called as well, should Child Protective Services also now get involved? She has now put these children in a totally different danger zone.
Yeah, I absolutely believe they should be. And I think they are. I mean, I don't think you can call the police and have these types of things happen without calling CPS. I think it's a process. Like I think they have like
automatic
a process,
trigger. It's
right?
Automatic
It triggers
trigger.
one thing triggers. So I think that will happen. And when I think about it, it all started because You wanted what? Him not to cheat on you, or you wanted him to get out your house, or whatever the issue was. It just reminds me. And now that I'm thinking about y'all, all hour I've been thinking about every time a man has told me like he's dealt with a girl or a woman who said something like, and I just think about me having a conversation with one of my male friends not too long ago, and he was like, man, I don't know. She just got mad at me and was like, if you ever wrong me, I'll just tell the police that you touched me, or you hit me, or you sexually assaulted one. It's strange. Like, it really is a thing. And for every time that I've heard somebody say that, a man tell me that a woman has used sex as a weapon. That's so interesting. Like, this whole hour, I forgot, but like every time we come back, you come back to me, I'm like, and then I can't tell people's business on the internet, but I'm like, wow, people use this as a weapon. And so I think
Oh,
that,
very much
when we're
so.
saying, what Moya said earlier about it being a hate crime, I love that idea because, I hear what you're saying, sis, about the complexities of like women who are real victims coming out. But I think that there's a difference. If you can prove, like, I think that there should be a due process for all of it, right? Just to protect each person, whether, like people, the actual victims, there should be a due process for that. But for everybody, that has to go through the same process just to ensure that there's order, to ensure that everybody gets there just has to be a process. But I just feel like it's unfair that it happens on one side, and it's just like whatever happens with the guys, whatever. But I'm worried about these other women. I'm worried about men too. Like, I'm worried about both parties. I don't
I'm
want it
worried
to
about the
just come down.
babies because they're definitely also going to
That's what I'm
need
saying.
therapy. Like they all have. I mean, there's no winning side on this at all. This is just plain traumatic all the way around, and it's something that's going to uh, carry you all the way through um, your life. You're going to be thinking about this for the rest of your life. And y'all, that ain't nothing to play with. That is just nothing to play with. Listen, we really had a great conversation today. Did we have all the answers? No, we don't have all the answers. But I think it's also very, very important for us to really share stories like this because a lot of times you just hear a lot of the stories that someone did it and then they got accused and they went to jail. But there are many cases as well that is not the case, and people still have to live the rest of their life in trauma. So I am going to wind this down. We appreciate everybody's comments today. We really do. And I'm going to ask for final thoughts and where we can find you. We'll start with you, Marlo.
So my final thought is be vigilant. Pay attention to who you let in your life. Pay attention to who you are in relationship with, and look at what triggers them to be toxic, right? And then try to find your way out of that because you don't want to end up in a situation like this or worse with a person who for their own feelings will burn a whole house down, right? Implicate their child, have, families at war, bring it to the internet and potentially, get you fired from your job, right? If your job sees that and they feel like that accusation is not in alignment with their business values, now you don't have an income. So I think don't accuse people falsely. If you accuse people, prosecutors will tell you that a rape case is the worst case to prosecute because the victim has to be re-victimized over and over and over again. So as you move forward in life, don't make false accusations, please. Don't avoid toxic people at all costs. And be ready to defend yourself if this is a lie. Don't walk away from it if it's not the truth. Be ready to go as hard as possible to maintain your self-worth, your value, and your good name, because it's going to cost you millions of dollars, as Tiara stated, to potentially get that good name back if you didn't do anything. So don't just go for the plea. Let them people tell you 18 months you'll be out of there. Don't do that. If you didn't do nothing, fight, fight, fight. And if you are looking for me, I'm Marlo Layson. I provide SEO strategies and business strategies to help you get found on the internet. Hopefully, I will help you get a good reputation on the internet, and you will not be associated with bad things like this. If you're looking for me, you can contact me at themarlogroup.com and shoot us an email, give us a schedule an appointment, get a consultation, all the things. I'm here to help.
Yes, she is. And she had a beautiful class not too long ago, guys, talking about SEO. And how did she teach that? She taught it with the Fly Nubian Money Club. If you're not a part of that, you need to get in now because there is a lot of great value right there. Moya, what is your final thoughts and where can we find you?
So my final thought is when it comes to, and I want to build off of what Marlo said in terms of really understanding people's triggers. I think it's important to know somebody when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're angry, all of the emotions that we feel as humans. You need to really have a strong understanding of that with the person that you decide to spend the rest of your life with, or this moment in time with. It's crucial for not only your livelihood, but also your well-being. And I just want us to have a really, really important understanding of that because that truly affects us in so many ways. So if you have any questions about taxes or finding proper scholarships for your children, you can definitely reach out to me on Instagram at moya.business.
Listen, y'all better hurry up and get in with these taxes because, you know, people are trying to say that now if you make under 150,000, the government don't want you to get no kind of refund. Now, listen, you need to make sure that you reach out to Moya because Moya knows all of that and she's got scholarship information for your babies. Get in on it now. Make sure you follow her. That is your marching orders. Okay, Tiara, it's you next, my love. And what's your final thoughts and where can we find you? Can't hear you.
Oh, I'm just going to go back to something that I already said and just make sure that you're listening. I think a lot of times when we get into the middle of a relationship with somebody and it's good, it's honeymooning, it's giving all the loving, you're getting all the things you need and want. And sometimes we don't listen because that dopamine feels so good. But they're telling you exactly who they are. You're seeing it play out. I'm sure this young man saw so many red flags in the course of their 5 years and was just like, I'm gonna just rock with it. This is my girl. But really that same thing that he probably loved about her ended up being the thing that could have potentially ruined his life. So I would say to men and really to everyone, just pay attention. Be listening. Pay attention. Listen to your children, listen to your partners, just so you know what's going on. And if you are looking for me, my name is Tierra Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood. I'm on Miss Black Hollywood across all platforms, but I just want to let you know that this Saturday we are welcoming Aisha Verzi to the Fly Nubian Money Club. She is going to teach us how to create a bank with our insurance policies. And so I'm so excited to welcome her. I think everyone needs to know how to set ourselves up for retirement, for everything that we need to protect our families, to pass on generational wealth to our children. It's just something that we need. So make sure that you go to flynubianmoneyclub.com and sign up for our free trial. I really want you to sign up for the year because I want to get you together. So just sign up.
It'll be worth every single penny. Every single penny. The trial is just going to warm you up and get your motors revving because there is power and behind finances. And we are giving you all the tools to do that. I can't say that more than enough. Why don't you go on and get in and try it? You'll find that you want to stick with us. And here's my final thoughts. This is a very tough situation to even discuss. When it comes to our babies, we want to make sure that we protect them at all costs, and we want to make sure that we believe them. But things like this make it that much harder for people to really give a good discernment when you come with some type of what they call receipts, and then you find out that those receipts have been digitally altered or weren't true or weren't false. So here's my thing. Take a deep breath before you judge. That's hard. I know it is. But you need to take a deep breath and step back and wait to hear all that you need to know before you make your decision on what you're going to do or how you're going to think or how you're going to proceed. That can be very hard in situations like this, but it is a much needed step, especially in today's world. Now, listen, We got a lot of things going on in the United States of America. I'm not happy about any of them. I will be very, very clear about that. Today, I found out that the government has decided that they are going to stop funding for home ownership grants for many of the nonprofit organizations. And so therefore, you may even be thinking, I need to get on up out of here. If you're thinking about buying abroad or moving abroad, I have a great resource for you on my website, www.laurakey.net. It will give you a quiz to give you an idea of where you are and your process of am I ready to move? Am I semi-ready to move? Or hell yeah, let's get out of here. And I also have other free things on my website as well. So please go and download that. Listen, today was really tough. I want to make sure that I call out our beautiful people who are always here. Black Lexicon, C. White, Deborah. We have Sophia. We love seeing your name, Sophia. We've been seeing a lot of you popping up about that. We are so grateful to have you as a part of our family because that is what we consider you to be. We thank you for your comments. Continue to put those in. We do answer those as well. But this conversation is bigger than one case. False accusations can destroy lives. And the sad part, most people never care when the truth comes out. The damage has already been done. We have to start holding people accountable for the damage they cause when they lie. And we also have to make sure we don't let false claims take away from the real victims who need justice. So what do you think? Should there be laws against false accusations? Should the media be held accountable? Let us know in the comments, and we will see you next time on Fly Nubian Money. Thank you so much for being here. Peace out. Be blessed tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.